good position, maybe even force some vultures into the natural or something. But right now, Frozean's, I guess, content to hold his 2 bases against Best's 3 bases. And we'll see how this progresses. Best, of course, has been playing absolutely monstrously recently. I do advise you guys to check out the first day of the Incrude OSL round of 8 there. Best played against Midas, and Best looks like he had to take out that Panda Bear guy, as Tasteless would put it. He took out the Panda Bear guy. It was just pissing him off, and was getting in the way of the bridges, I think. Or maybe he just doesn't like animals. But looks like Frozean's attempt at vulture harassment is not successful. He does pick off about 4 probes there, but Best has dealt with it very well there, not even losing any Dragoons. Now Frozean pushing up with 5 tanks, no vultures, and a couple of SCVs. I think what he's going to try to do is do a slow push here with missile turrets, and looks like he will finally be using the bridges in the middle here. I think he should have done this about 5 minutes ago. He had basically the same number of units 5 minutes ago as he does now, and now, unfortunately for him, Bisu, no, not Bisu, Best has a ton more units. I just saw Bisu there, rather. Best now mining 2 gas here. He's doing fine economically. Smart enough. Look at that. He blocked off one of his 2 bridges. So it's going to really narrow down the avenue for vulture harass. So Best is well prepared for vultures, and we're going to be seeing him probably tech to Templar very soon, and really solidify his edge with a technological edge. Maybe go for Arbiters. I think Best's Arbiter play is just absolutely fantastic. Anyway, like I said, do check out the Incrude OSL Day 1. For those of you who are wondering, Bisu and Stork is going to be dual casted by Moltrap, and a top American player could even be someone like Noni. So it's going to be delayed because of that, but I'm sure you guys will understand, certainly. Interesting, a lot of defensive structures being thrown up in the middle, and this is what I meant. The Terran player can slowly push themselves forward and divide the 2 Protoss bases, as we're seeing Frozean attempt to do here. Note that the upper left base is now going to be quite vulnerable to attack. If he can split that in half, then Best will basically lose his upper left expansion if he doesn't attack, and it looks like Frozean's just about able to split the forces in half. Best looks like he's manages to defend against another vulture harass, but Best really just has 1 dropship there. I think it might just have zealots in it for zealot bombs. I'm not sure if it has any reavers yet. I haven't seen a support bay yet. But Best looks like he's actually sending some forces south here. He might decide to react by going for a flank attack against Frozean, and that actually might be a very smart move here. We've been seeing a lot of that from Best recently. Those mines are going to sense they're going to help Frozean know this is coming. Frozean looks like he's pounding away at that pylon wall at the upper left. That's going to get breached very soon there, and Best is going to have to do a lot of damage because he's going to lose the expansion at the upper left. Here he comes. Not enough vultures there, I think, for Frozean, and a lot of speedlots coming out for Best, and Best is getting among the tanks. Frozean looks like he wasn't ready for this, dropping a couple of zealots, I believe, among the tanks, and looks like Best has actually destroyed so many tanks there. My goodness, that was a lot of tanks that Best took down. I think this may mean that Frozean's now trapped there with his group of forces at the contained position. Frozean has broken through, but he hasn't managed to do any damage yet, and Best looks like he's going to take this game, actually. I'm going to have to call the game in Best's favor. Frozean's entire army has been wiped out. I believe he might have a couple more buildings. Yeah, just mines of buildings stuck in the middle of the map. Great flank maneuver from Best, and I have to say, this is why Best's Protoss play is just so good. If Best was a player like Backho, or even, a slightly better Protoss player, but not a top-notch Protoss player, he might have just decided to go all in and attack straight into the pile of Terran units in the middle there at that contain, and he would have maybe been able to break it, but certainly suffered a lot more casualties. Instead, Best, with absolutely very clever strategic thinking, decided to flank around the south, and really just showing solid military doctrine there. Looks like Frozean does manage to get a couple more vultures through, but those vultures are not going to make the difference there. Frozean's tank count, of course, has been wiped out, and Best's expansion survives at the upper left. Frozean didn't even manage to take it out, and he's going to be definitely behind. I think only about 6 tanks left for Frozean. He's going to try to push forward and take his bridges back. Frozean, you have to note, has not expanded yet. He didn't even take that expansion that's accessible if you mine out the bottom left of his main base. There is that base there at the, well, for him would be at the 7 o'clock location. Looks like neither player has taken those corner bases yet. But yeah, Best has definitely broken through. He's taken out all these defensive structures. It's going to take a while for Frozean to establish himself, and he's going to be on his side of the bridges, whereas before he was on Best's side. Now Best is going to solidify this advantage, probably going to switch over to Arbiters there, although I haven't seen Templar Archives, so just small possibility of carriers. I do think it's going to be Arbiters, though, most likely, given how many gateways he has. Couple more vultures sneaking through. I don't think, actually no, I think Best has rebuilt his pylon wall on the minimap. I think he has rebuilt it, so those vultures are not going to get through. And this is the problem we see a lot of Terran players face in the mid game. If their push has not succeeded, then really they're down in the tank count, and all they have to rely on in terms of offensive ability is vultures. And we've seen Nada being put in this predicament quite a lot, unfortunately, recently, because Nada's Terran play isn't really top-notch anymore. He's very good with vultures, but then what ends up happening is he does a lot of good or somewhat good vulture harasses, and that's it, though. His main forces do not get in the battle, and when they do, the Protoss have so many forces that they just are unable to push at the Protoss very often, or very much, rather. And looks like the Protoss is now going to clear out these couple of vultures in the back. Still not successful in doing much. Oh, that one mine! Oh, nice work there. Frozean with decent micro there. Bad time for a probe transfer there from Best. So Frozean manages to pick off a lot of probes there with his one mine. I still won't say that's going to change the tide of things, although certainly it's not hurting at all. It's not bad for Frozean at all. He's managed to probably pick off at least 10 probes there. So if he does a couple of those, he can sort of even up the match. But he needs to expand. Really, Frozean needs to get an expansion of his own. And we are seeing High Templar out, so most likely Arbiters will be following next. High Templar loaded up into that shuttle. This is really, I like to call this the Jangbi move. Although I know all you guys are going to be saying, well, in 2003, Pusan did this once, and obviously, people have done this before. But Jangbi is very skilled at loading up Templar into shuttles and using them against Terrans, using them as a sort of a flying carpet and just laying the Templars down, getting massive storms during the big battles, and then loading them up again. And that is something I really enjoy seeing from the Protoss players. I think Best is probably close to getting maxed out here. He just has so many speed lots. Just look at how many speed lots he has. Relatively few Templar, actually, but just mass speed lots. And this is sort of almost a reach style play here. And I do use that with reserve. Looks like Best actually set up an expansion on the right side, but Frozean will take it out now. But Best has once again caught a flank here. He's caught the southern flank, and coming across the left side, once again, he's going to flank Frozean hard here. Here comes the Templar, dropped off from the shuttles. Beautiful storms covering those tanks up, and I think this is going to probably, well, actually, no, it looks like it doesn't break through. So Frozean has just enough troops to hold off, but here comes Best with a second wave here, and I think the second wave is probably going to get amongst the tanks. A bunch of speed lots moving forward, and those tanks are probably at low health, so one or two hits from the Zealots will take them out. Oh, there's a lot of tanks taken out by those mine drags there from Best, and Frozean is now in huge trouble. I think he's completely breached. I don't think he has any more tanks left. His forward contain is now wrecked. Best with great positioning there with superior forces and superior micro. Reach, of course, known for just throwing Zealots and Dragoons in. Not really necessarily worrying about tech so much, and still managing to succeed just from having so many manlots throw themselves into battle and just really crucify themselves, but sacrifice themselves upon the altar of manhood and of victory for the Protoss. GG coming from Frozean. Best with solid performance here, winning 1-0 for S.Khan. For SKT1. Against S.Khan. We'll be seeing in the next game, I believe it's Midas versus Jangbi, two top-notch A-class players facing off on Medusa. Should be an interesting match. Thank you guys for watching. There's I Love UV, and yeah, stay tuned.